guys, I don't want to be a pussy. I don't want to be a pussy. I'm telling you that. And I sit here and I wonder who am I making these videos for anymore? And I think my mind went a little bit off the deep end. It went kind of in its own dimension, okay? Because then I'm like, who's gonna watch this? I just think that because it's like my mind is in its own place so much so that it's like in a different part of the universe and you can't even see it. That's what happens to me. And I don't care. I don't care what anyone thinks. I'm a free person. I live in America. I express myself. I do these things and it keeps me busy. And I wonder, why am I so passionate? Why am I so interested in creating stuff? And I don't even like the word creator. I don't even like people calling me a creator. I'm not a creator. I'm probably more of an observer or an innocent bystander to this thing we call reality. And I post it online and I try to create stuff, but I don't really think of it as creating because people always say you're creating. And it's just like, no, just the way that you said it isn't on point. Well, back to my point, that gets a little bit in depth. So back to what I was saying, bringing it back, I don't want to be a pussy. Okay. But when you create stuff, you're kind of a pussy because you're kind of in a controlled environment. You're creating stuff in a controlled environment. And then you're not really like, I'm not risking my life in any way. I'm not risking neck and bone in any way. I don't ride motorcycles. I'm not fighting anybody. I'm not in a toxic relationship that could end in a shotgun blast or a tea, poison my tea, or something like that, or some crazy stuff. Hitman, put out a hit on me or something, some crazy stuff. It gets pretty intense out there. And so I personally, I don't want to be a pussy about a lot of things. But I think to an extent we end up a pussy. Like, I don't know, it's crazy though, because it's like I'm sitting there playing video games, and the problem is that I don't have the passion to play. I'm older, I'm smarter, I'm so much more awake. I just don't know if it really works for me to say video games are pointless pieces of shit and you just do the same thing over and over. And I don't know. Is that me though? Or do I need to smoke a joint or something, Because I used to like think like, oh yeah, smoking weed gives me panic attacks, but maybe I need to chill back and have a fucking beer, man. Something. Like literally too isolated. My brain is too isolated. And then it's like it's weird because it's a reversal. Like I don't want to be a pussy, but I'm so smart that I turn out a pussy. Like I don't want to stream because I'm never going to be popular and I don't have the passion and stuff. Shut up. Don't do it then, Like stop being a pussy. So I don't really think I'm a pussy. I just think I'm just a advert alpha apex intellectual who has reached the peak of his human comprehension. And you think of it when you're a baby, and the people have reached the peak of their human comprehension when you were a baby, and you're just a baby. And that's crazy because people have been smart your entire life, and you just got smart. And it's like, you know, I don't want to be a pussy, but there needs to be a point, right? Some people do things, they show other people they're not a pussy to make a point. This is a very in depth thought process, okay? So I'm not trying to say everything correct here. I'm just laying it like it is in front of you, okay? For anyone that cares to know.